6試合超弁慶 vs ヒロコ
Almost a mismatch, Robin, when you look at the size of Hiroko Yamanaka, 5'11", taking on that lady right there, Mayumi Aoki.
Her nickname is Super Benki.
What does that mean?
I actually did look it up, John Rambine.
You did.
And there was no literal translation for it. It's just a straight-up nickname.
And look at the size of Hiroko.
This woman is a giant. Wow.
And I am almost positive she is going to try to exploit the size differential between her and her opponent.
They have her listed at 5'11", but when your opponent is in the 5'2" range, you just absolutely look enormous.
And expect that jab to be a huge factor. Nice, beautiful hands, but look at that, Aoki. More than happy to stand and trade, and it looks like Yamanaka forced to fight off her back. Cross side enjoyed by Aoki right now.
This is where you want a bigger fighter. You want them flat on their back, working their heart out, trying to get you to move. There, a nice step over to the mount. This is not what we were expecting.
This is something reminiscent of a different Aoki.
Yeah, Shinya Aoki.
Exactly. Will she be able to take away the size of her opponent?
She's got that left arm pushed across the face, trying to set it up into an armbar. Push down on the head. See, she's got that arm stationary right there.
But she's not really isolating the arm.
No, she needs to get her right leg up a little higher. There it is.
They're looking for it. She sits back.
Belly down is a dangerous place to do this armbar. You can extend your hips and flatten it out. That was an error, though. That's the thing. When you go to turn... Oh, now a triangle setup. When you go to turn and set up a submission and you end up on your back, that's, it's a bit of a loss in this situation.
Aoki still can lock up the triangle choke. She's trying to hook the leg. She transitions to an armbar.
She's got some nice work here on the ground. Aoki, you're right. With a name like Aoki, I think you better have some good jiu-jitsu.
Exactly.
Look at the knee positioning by the giant. Just there, right in that armpit. That's keeping her kind of stationary. See, she's trying to free her arm, that right arm, just trying to dig under. And that knee there is isolating that entirely. It's causing some pain and distraction.
Yamanaka taking her time. Now she finds herself in a very good position on top. Will she dish out some punishment in the form of ground and pound?
This giant Yamanaka has fought 5 times. 4 wins are all decision, and her 1 loss is by submission. So, in this area, this is where, history has said maybe she's a little bit porous. Beautiful choice. She takes her right arm and cross faces to prevent that takedown.
Some knees, maybe not as fast as they could be, but precision is the most important thing.
You're seeing the power now when those 2 forearms are dug into the collarbones and she just grinds her into that corner. See there, that situation now, she can feed her knees. Keeps her hips in close. This is a big, powerful lady.
Nice, dirty boxing. Aoki, however, not fazed by the punishment she's endured thus far.
No, she's game. She is definitely in here. Now she's going to look for a takedown. Once you've got this position, you can pull a back takedown. There it is.
That's what she's looking for, trying to take Hiroko down to the ground. Look at the size and the smile on the face of Aoki.
Yeah, but Hiroko's going to turn into her and be above her in a position to throw punches now. Or to move to the mount position.
It will be very interesting to see the development of Hiroko Yamanaka.
Well, fortunately, we're going to be able to show Jewel here on the Fight Network for quite some time, so maybe we'll see how this giant develops. There's a Kimura from a very strange position. You can see her arcing her body to defend it.
Yeah, she's trying to... The referee comes in.
Is that the end of round? Nope. Little jump cut there.
Nice kick to the body, followed by a push kick by Aoki.
Aoki's doing great to hang in here. Of course, we're curious when you put somebody this big in, to see how they develop. And that right hand that she's able to land from a distance is going to be scary as she gets better.
And this is a great game plan for Yamanaka.
But that right hand again of Aoki.
Big breath by Aoki and eats a punch to the face.
Well, they have her listed at Yamanaka at 143 and Aoki at 128. So that's a 15-pound weight difference. It's not enormous considering the difference in height, but you carry somebody else's 143 pounds around for a round, and you're going to be breathing heavy.
Very true. Hiroko Yamanaka in the red shorts as we look at some of the action from that first round.
That big right hand by Aoki wobbled the giant there. Nicely timed right hand. But this was the story of the round. Yamanaka was on top. In the clinch, she looked good. You know, I think she took that round, but you got to be impressed with Aoki.
Final round.
Round number 2 here on the very first Jules event, previously known as Smack Girl. So if you followed female Japanese mixed martial arts and you've seen the Smack Girls promotion, this is the same thing.
Man, that right hand of Aoki. One weakness we were finding in Yamanaka, no defense on the feet whatsoever. She comes forward throwing her combinations. Look at this, though. Takedown defense is just built in.
But she'll only be able to coast on these skills for so long.
Absolutely. That's why it's going to be very interesting to see as she improves. Whether she wins this fight or not, this seems to be somebody who's going to keep fighting, and we're going to see her get better and better.
Wow, look at that, in close, scoring with those hands. But she is eating some punches, and for somebody that tall and that has that big of a reach advantage, that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, and you know, clearly she's missing a few of the details in how in working this height. She hasn't maybe grown into herself as a fighter yet, the reach and the size. See, she's trading, and you should be able to land on your opponent at a distance that they cannot land on you when you're this tall.
But one thing you have to look at is the fact that she knows what works, and the clinch and the knees to the body is clearly what's working for her.
Yeah, now she's looking good in here. But see how close she is. She's in that range that works for Aoki. In that exchange, she was able to dominate.
Don't forget, one of the best female fighters in the world will be taking part in tonight's event. The renowned Megumi Fuji taking on Tomoko Mori.
Yeah, but we've still got a very close fight. Oh, a little exchange of right hands there. Nice body kick by Aoki. Man, I'm excited to see Aoki in the future as well. When she's in here, overmatched size-wise, strength-wise, even record-wise, and to hang in like this is going to be a very, very good fighter as well.
I will say, if you look at Aoki, she does have a little bit of softness around her middle, and I wonder if she dropped a few pounds and found her perfect division, how destructive she might be.
Yeah, she's 128 here, maybe around 115, you know? Drop her down 10 or even a touch more. She could be very, very violent fighter.
Because she can take abuse, that is for sure.
That's for sure. Those knees will hurt. And she's still throwing those right hands. You know, we've seen so many female fights and all the things that we're fortunate enough to call here on the Fight Network, but to have an entire series dedicated to the women is very exciting.
And especially because they're exciting fighters. I can understand if it's dull and people are trying to hold people down and just grind out a decision, but there's something culturally accepted about fighting in Japan that translates even over to the women, and they all want to put forth an effort and put a show, really showcase their skills for the fans, because at the end of the day, that's who they fight for.
Yeah, and you can see it right here, right down to the wire as they're exchanging punches. Aoki is dropped for a moment, and right down to the buzzer, they just sit there and they trade.
まずはヒロコ。ヒロコが勝利です。
Hiroko Yamanaka gets the decision victory over the tough as nails Mayumi Aoki.
Yeah, exciting fight, and you know, this is just going to be very exciting to get to call Jules all the time and get to show it here on Fight Network. Right down to the wire, nothing fancy here. She did catch a little left hook on the inside and is dropped, but that was just all about heart.
Don't change that channel. More of Jules when we return to Fight Network.